Magic.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the New Old Furry Podcast. I'm Kit, and as always, with me we have Rik today.
Hello once again.
And we're going to be talking about social etiquette, specifically the difference between online and in real life. And I think I'm going to say, take it away, Rik. I'll let you start it on this one.
Alright, quite simply, there is no difference, but the internet has given everyone this strange paper shield that makes them think they are free of consequence.
A little bit.
Really? No comeback to, I think they're the same thing? Wow.
No,
this
not
was
really.
An easy argument. I win. Go me.
Well, see, the thing is, people do realize, or do and don't realize that there is consequences to everything they do, both from one side or the other. But that's a thing.
You are absolutely correct. There's always a consequence.
Yep.
Whether you do something in the real world or say something nasty online, there will be a consequence. Whether or not the people believe it or not, or that the consequence is just, equitable to the misdeed done, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't really. However, this does bring up a difference between online and in real life. Because typical social etiquette when meeting somebody, like when meeting somebody new, in the real world it's, hey, introductions, first impressions, this, that, and the other thing, and you either decide to talk to the person or decide to not talk to the person. Nowadays, online, it's more of a, this person is interesting, I want to talk to them. Let's pry a decade into their history first.
But therein lies the difference, is some people, there's not a decade of history about them on the internet. I happen to be one of those people that I think maybe my Facebook goes back that far, and maybe a MySpace.
Well, yeah. But you
look at either of those, and you look at either of those, and there's nothing on there that I'm afraid of anyone seeing. There's some cringe things on there, certainly.
Oh, yeah. In my case, I opted for a less permanent existence on the internet when I was younger, going through things like IRC chats. Only problem with that is, when somebody does decide to leave something permanent, it stays.
It's much more difficult to track down and get rid of because you're going into the old dark alleys of the internet.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, Jesus, 9 years ago, give or take, I participated in online chats and like chat messenger services. And if anyone ever tracked those down, that would be a very awkward conversation. But
I mean,
as far as I know, there's nothing damning in there.
Then again, so would my days of AnthroChat. We used to talk about some weird shit on those servers. And realistically, not all of it too terribly inappropriate either. Unless, of course, you consider, what was it? I think the weirdest chat I was ever in on AnthroChat was a bunch of furries talking about, I think it was quantum physics or string theory while stoned.
I honestly think that's kind of like a barrier to entry for furries in general, because I'm fairly certain I had a very similar chat. Not while stoned, I was probably drunk.
Well, yeah, no, intoxicated and talking about something that usual people wouldn't consider, like string theory or quantum physics.
Trying to think. I think mine was quantum physics.
I mean, yeah. Then again, that was also back when I was, just getting into trying things like that as a teenager. And the 420 Furs chat on AnthroChat was so fun.
I understand now. Trying things like that. Trying quantum physics?
No,
you had a very strange teenagerhood, man.
No, trying quantum physics is what I did. Was what I did the day I decided to drop acid, but that's a different story.
That is entirely a different story that maybe one day I'll convince you to tell on here. Probably not.
I mean, the minute I can remember anywhere between more than 5 minutes and 8 minutes of it, I'll tell you.
Fair enough.
Long and short of it, by the way, guys, this is our kind of our moment of saying don't do drugs, is because the very first time I dropped acid, I don't remember jack shit of it. All I remember is the uh, sensation of purple tastes interesting, and then waking up with only my boxers on in a field near my junior high school.
With the dog that wasn't yours, I believe was how the story was told to me.
Yeah, no, there was a dog laying on the freaking ground next to me. I don't know who the hell's dog it was. I think it had just curled up for warmth and was a stray or some shit. I do remember getting home was a pain in the ass.
Well, what furry over the age of 21 doesn't have the story of I woke up in a strange place and had to figure out how to get myself back to either my car or my clothes?
This reminds me of convention horror stories.
That's entirely what it is.
But yeah, no. That's the thing I was getting onto, though, with etiquette is people pry too much nowadays online.
Thing is, it's people have always pried. People have always held against someone a mistake they made in their past,
Yep.
whether they've atoned for it or not, whether they've continued the actions or not.
Whether it
It's
actually happened or not.
yeah. Uh, who was it?
Shit.
Recently, on one of the quote unquote famous furry YouTube channels, they had a section where they talked about because what we're kind of hinting at here is cancel culture.
Tiny bit.
And cancel culture has been around as long as humanity has existed. OG cancel culture was called excommunication.
God,
It's the
yeah.
same shit.
I believe the Amish call it shunning.
Yeah. Real life cancel culture exists. It's not a new thing. It's not something that is changing the world dramatically. What's happening is now we're keeping records of everything.
A little bit.
Thank God I grew up before there was an internet to store videos on.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh.
But there's a lot of senators and congressmen who are running into that where they grew up long, long before I was a twinkle in my father's eye and an expectant leer on my mother's face. Long time ago. And they're getting hit with it because there's always been a record. It's just
Yeah.
now more easily accessible.
Oh, yeah. I actually am really glad my family didn't know much about the internet when I was growing up. You know how weird it would be to have somebody pry like fucking 30 years into my past and suddenly have old home movies of my happy ass at like 2 or 3 months old? Or more accurately, less 2 or 3 months old, more a year and a few months running around bare ass naked.
Well, the issue with that is there is an entire generation, probably two at this point, of furries in particular, but people in general,
Yeah.
whose entire lives have been documented online.
Oh, God, yeah. Folks, just wait until you grow up and reach that point of, hey, Mom, why are people sharing around pictures of me when I was 2?
What's funny is that's already been a thing. There's been the family photo right after the child was born, and it's the happy father hugging the wife with the little baby holding a bottle underneath, and then it's 20 years later, and it's the father and the mother holding each other, and then the 21-year-old kid sitting there with a bottle of wine upending it into their mouth.
God damn it.
Oh yeah, this shit has already happened, man. The ship has sailed. Cancel culture is not going to change the world. It already exists. The record
Oh,
keeping
yeah.
is already well beyond the point of anyone having any privacy.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, and for the record, folks, I've always been against things like shunning and cancel culture. That's nothing new either.
I'm against it without evidence.
You're against it without evidence. Okay, so you know what? I'll give it that. There are certain people that I do believe, there are certain types of people that I do believe should be shunned to a degree. But at the same time, I'm also kind of the mind that pretty much anybody can seek redemption. Whether or not they are, or whether or not they seek redemption, though I don't believe should be a factor in some cases for whether or not they rejoin society. Uh, but in my case, my belief on that is if you've done something like murder, yeah, probably a good idea to lock the person away for a very long time.
See, that's a very difficult conversation to have because okay, he's convicted of murder. First off, there's multiple degrees of murder. He drove home drunk and hit a pedestrian. The pedestrian is now dead.
I'm talking on
Ye-
the scope of like serial killer. This dude walked into a school and shot 20 kids, or this guy went into a Walmart somewhere and gunned down 35 people and somehow didn't get shot before he was captured.
All he has to do is put down his gun. The
Yeah,
cops will always, and in some cases, I believe, not the best option, attempt to subdue the individual.
yeah. That could swing into a completely different fucking topic that I don't want to have on this particular episode. So realistically, we're gonna do a little bit of a swerve left and then right here, because this actually kind of goes into a different topic of music from me and Rick's generation here, or mine and Rick's generation here, had a message behind it that the world really should have fucking picked up on.
Well, to say it that way makes it sound as though all of the music from our generation was the best music ever.
Oh hell
God,
no.
no, there was some
God no, there was some
truly
horrifying
terrible
trash.
music in there.
There was some terrifying trash, but groups like fucking Sum 41, a lot of their music was good and had a message behind it.
Yes and no, because they're right on the cusp of when the industry figured out we can make money off of this.
Yeah,
Uh, Go ahead and point out Fallout Boy did an entire music video that was making fun of the music industry.
yeah. Well, have you ever seen the music video for fucking Still Waiting?
Possibly. I have had many rabbit hole nights where I just wander down into nostalgia.
The start of the music video for Sum 41's Still Waiting is literally a group, the group Sum 41 and their manager saying something, saying shit like, you know, the number of bands they're out nowadays. Let's try something else, you know, the Beatles, the this, that, and the other thing, and let's try the Sums. And then starts changing their names, changing their images, telling them, "Hey, if you're gonna look cool, you have to smoke now."
Well, that has been something that started. I mean,
Well, no, the whole music video though is made a satire of this is what the music industry fucking does.
yeah. Corey Taylor. I don't remember if it was him by himself, uh, his side project, or Slipknot. It wasn't Slipknot, I don't think. Uh, Jeez, give me a second. I
Well, while you're taking that second, I just realized we forgot to do this once again. And that is the obligatory, these are not meant for minors. These are not meant for a young audience. If you are listening to this and you are particularly young, my guess would be under 16 or 18, depending on where you are in the world, I would suggest, you know, go away. These aren't meant for you. These are going to probably get really weird. Then again, all of our podcasts do, and I mean, you have been warned.
okay. First and foremost, we're really bad about that.
Little bit. Although now it's becoming a running gag that we do it like fucking 15 minutes into every one of these.
Yeah. The song I was referring to was by Corey Taylor's side band Stone Sour, and it is titled Song Number 3. And it is him going from location to location, changing his outfit, and throughout the song various members of the band get pissed off and walk off because they don't like the style they're being pushed towards. And at the end of it, Corey Taylor gets tired of it and walks off and finds the band in a back alley as they're all just jamming out, and he hops up there in a wife beater and jeans and starts singing, even though the wife beater and jeans is its own aesthetic.
Yeah.
But they've always done the argument. As I mentioned, Fallout Boy. Thanks for the memories. The entire music video is calling the music industry a bunch of fucking chimps who think they know better than the artists how to do what they're doing. It's
Wait,
that's
isn't
a
that the Fallout Boy song that sounds like someone ditching their girlfriend for a dude?
yes. He tastes like you, only sweeter is the
Yeah.
lyrics.
Thanks for the
I'm
memories.
not
Thanks for
sure
the
what
memories.
the message is supposed to be in the song itself.
All I can think of is the music video in my head that plays is some dude on a fucking dance floor talking to his girlfriend that suddenly slings her off a dance floor, starts dancing with this dude that's been near them the whole time, and then just drops to knees and starts going down on the dude.
It's, well, the only reason he would taste like you, only sweeter, is because he had pineapple beforehand.
There are actually pills now that if you take them, it's supposed to make you taste sweeter. So.
Yeah, it's based on the enzyme in pineapple that does it. There's a couple other fruits that do it as well,
Well,
and
that's the
there's
thing. The pills
strangely
they
enough,
have nowadays can flavor it.
strangely enough, the vegetables, a lot of vegetables make it taste worse.
Oh god,
Avoid
yeah.
onions, avoid garlic, avoid asparagus. All of that leads to a less than pleasurable experience. I've spent way too long reading up on this crap. Fresh pineapple works best. Crushed or canned does not work as well. There's too many artificial additives and not enough of
It
the
still
enzyme.
works, but not enough of the enzyme. But yeah, no. Now people can just skip that altogether, get a fucking mega dose of that enzyme, and a few more chemicals that'll essentially mummify your insides for the sake of making what comes out of you taste like fucking raspberries or some shit.
I I don't understand that. That's You and I had a conversation recently about the argument of flavor versus texture, and
Now imagine if they had pills that changed the texture of it. That would be disturbing.
it would be pulled from the shelf immediately because someone would take too much of it and would basically be passing kidney stones.
Oh my god, sudden pressurized kidney stone. Ah!
And that's why we are not meant for minors, folks.
Little bit.
All of you could follow along perfectly with that conversation. And you see how easily we just veered into oncoming traffic with that one.
Fuck veering into oncoming traffic. We were playing leapfrog across the highway.
Anyway, the music from our generation, the music that we remember from our generation, that we find on YouTube regularly, the reason we find that is because that was the good stuff.
Yep.
That was the stuff that had an impact because it hit the right chord in the right audience, and generally you and I were in the right audience at the time.
Yeah.
A song that I believe every 14 to 17-year-old individual, male, female, non-binary, intersex, take your pick, needs to listen to is The Middle by Jimmy Eat World, because it is all about you're going to feel like you don't fit in.
Yep.
That's normal. It
That's
takes
normal.
time.
It takes
You
time.
need to have patience.
In the meantime, accept who the fuck you are.
That's bordering on radical acceptance, which I believe all people need to do. But between the ages of 14 to 17, that's when everyone feels like they're the outcast. Everybody. Even if they are surrounded by friend, everyone feels like they're the outcast.
Yep. Realistically, that was actually the song that got me to pierce my ear and come out to my family.
Was it really?
Yeah, really, it's kind of funny.
That's amusing because you, once again, he and I have conversations we don't record because they're just conversations. And real recently, he was telling me the story of him coming out and the stages he had gone through.
Yeah, pretty
And he
much.
said, I listened to a song one day and it hit me in just the right way. And I went over to my buddy's house. I borrowed a needle from him. And
No. It wasn't I borrowed a needle from him. It was I was listening to a song and it hit me in just the right way. And I went over to a buddy's house and said, "Give me this," and grabbed one of his little piercing kits, which at the time I think you can still buy them at Walgreens or something. It's a little plastic box that you open up, put your ear into it, clamp it down, and then click, and it will punch a stud through your ear, just like a piercing gun. They're one-time use. I grabbed it, fucking clacked it onto my right ear, and just that was a thing. It didn't even really hurt,
well,
but
first and foremost, to everyone listening, don't do that. It's it's less than ideal. Get someone to help you with it.
well, yeah.
It's quite possible to screw up your ear in a bad way.
Oh God, yeah.
So you either go to a professional to get it done. If you're, I can't even say if you're underage, don't do it. If you're underage, you if you're underage, why are you in here? There's my excuse. Haha.
Yeah, no. Realistically though, those stud boxes are essentially a one-time use piercing gun. It's a do-it-yourself thing, but yeah, no. Ideally, it's even if you're using one of those, have somebody who knows what the hell they're doing and how to use them help you with it. Don't just clamp it on yourself and because you can
As with
very
all
easily fuck it up.
as with all things intended for self modification, you can do it yourself, but you probably shouldn't.
Oh, thanks for that mental image. You just made me think of a DIY sex change kit and what that would be.
I I mean,
Let's not get into that particular topic, please.
yeah, we'll go ahead and veer off of that one.
But
My
yeah,
God,
no.
we're like the worst drunk driver down an interstate, swerving across traffic back and forth. Just, oh God, we're going close to that thing. Quick, veer off,
Oh,
veer off. Oh God, we're close to the other thing. Veer off, veer off.
a little bit, but no. Going back to what I was saying, my whole coming out thing was the song, the ear piercing. My buddy literally looked at me and went, "You pierced the wrong one." No, I didn't. And for those of you who don't know, the right ear back in the 90s and 80s, if you had that pierced and you were male and only had that pierced, it was a way of saying, "Hey, I'm gay." And I have no idea why that is, what sparked it. Someone told me at one point one of the reasons they thought it meant it. I don't know. But it was in the 80s and 90s, if you had only your right ear pierced, you were gay. And if you guys have seen me without my headset on, you'll notice that only my right ear is pierced, and I have a big ass steel gauge in it.
I'd like to point out to anyone listening, I have known this individual for the past 4 years now.
Only recently realized I had a pierced ear.
See, what's interesting is I'm fairly certain I knew. It
You've
just
watched me
never
take it out and clean it.
it just never dawned on me that, oh, right, he has a pierced ear. It doesn't. I am a very strange individual in that I don't really care what a person looks like.
Yeah.
I I don't know why. It does not bother me how someone chooses to present themselves one way or the other. I am entirely based on, can I hold a conversation with this person? Apparently, I can hold a conversation well enough with this son of a bitch that I decided to start doing a podcast with him.
I mean, yeah, just a bit. But yeah, no, that was my initial coming out story. That's how I came out to my family, to my close friends. Then there was when I hit high school and met my first actual I
Your
guess you
first
could
actual
say a
what?
relationship with another guy. It was actually not so much a relationship as just a lot of. There's a reason I'm a fox. Um, but that was also when I had that phase of, okay, you know what? This is who I am. Fuck it, rainbows everywhere.
For those of you listening who have met me, who have spoken with me, I will continue to not admit to any sexuality in general because it is hilarious to me to have people refer to me as he's some form of amorphous gray blob when it comes to sex.
Little
We're
bit.
not sure.
I have come to
I
the
find it
conclusion
amusing.
that you can either swing both ways or swing no ways, depending on the time of day and the alignment of the moon. You're fucking weird when it comes to sexuality, man.
Oh, I'm completely aware of it. I I have not yet settled on a label for myself because I have determined a long time ago that labels are bullshit.
Little bit.
That you yourself, when you were telling me the story of your coming out and the years thereafter, or the years immediately surrounding, and the high school years, and you being an activist with the
Oh
LGBT
god, yeah.
community,
The
and
HRC
how
specifically, the Human Rights Campaign.
you were convincing guys to try out being gay
Well, that's the
because
thing.
you could identify them because you've met them.
Well,
I've
yeah, no, it
honestly,
was people I had met that I could see it in them because they were doing the same shit I did. So a lot of them I convinced, give it a try. It doesn't have to be sex, it doesn't have to be dating, but find someone that you trust that you know who's gay as shit and ask questions.
and that is excellent advice for anyone out there who happens to be questioning sexuality, gender identity, anything like that. Reach out to friends. If you're in Kit's Discord, I'm on there. I
Mm-hmm.
will respond eventually. I do not use Discord as my primary conversation app.
Yeah.
I I'm on there. I'm willing to answer questions. I do have my perspective to give. Kit's always around. He
Yep.
gives his perspective. And there's a bunch of other people who we can probably point you towards someone if you're questioning about a specific thing, whether it be trans or gay or bisexual or
Oh yeah.
asexual. We can point you towards someone and
Chances are
just
we've
be
got
like,
someone in the Discord who can answer those questions directly.
exactly.
I mean, our Discord is literally it's a grab bag of people.
From all over the world. So no matter where you're from, we probably have a connection that can get you in touch with someone closer to you.
Yep.
That's really concerning when I think about it now that I've said it out loud.
Why?
It just is.
It's the same mentality though that existed back when I worked with the LGBT youth groups in my 20s. Uh, which, by the way, there are also LGBT youth groups still. If you don't feel comfortable asking your friends or what have you, or don't feel like you can come to us on our Discord, or want something a little less public, you can go to those groups specifically. You can contact them via the phone or through the internet or what have you, and it's a complete one-on-one thing. But that was the mentality of if you need to ask questions or want to ask questions and there isn't someone nearby or somebody that you can go to that is closer to you or closer to your situation, those groups would do what they could to get you in touch with somebody who is closer to your situation or closer to where you are.
Basically, for everyone out there who's listening to this, if you need help, ask for it.
Yep.
There are resources all around you, even if you feel as though you're all alone in this bitter, bitter world. There's people out there.
Oh god, yeah. And more often than not, they are a lot easier to approach than you would think.
It is amusing to me, though, that sometimes there are people in my life who believe that I am intimidating to approach. Yeah, I laughed too. And then I realized, oh, you guys are serious.
Well, yeah, no,
No,
it's
you
the
got a
same
question,
thing
come to
as
me. I
me.
got the answer. If I have the answer, I have the answer. If I don't have the answer, I know who does.
Well, yeah, no, it's the same thing with me. You know my personality. You know I can be intimidating. I try my damnedest not to. So when people start saying things like it's hard to talk to you because you're intimidating or what have you, it's my brain just automatically goes, but more often than not, I'm a fucking teddy bear.
I'm much closer to the Teddy Wolverine.
A little bit.
Soft and cuddly, but if you ever meet the real thing, you meet a real bear, there's actually a good chance you leave it alone, it'll leave you alone.
Yeah,
You meet a real Wolverine, they're angry little bastards.
I'm just a snuggle fox.
Is that what we're calling it these days? Snuggling.
No, I said snuggle fox.
Uh huh. Is that what we're calling it these days? I'm just being an ass,
I can,
as I am wont
I
to
can
be.
tell.
Why would people think I'm intimidating and not want to come to me for advice?
Oh, but yeah, no. Eh.
What was the Dr. Cox from Scrubs thing? I'm a bastard coated bastard with a hard bastard center.
I believe that's it, yeah. God, speaking of Dr. Cox, what a name.
That was a joke throughout the whole thing because throughout the whole thing
He
he
was a
was a
dick.
dick.
Yeah.
You think they didn't name him appropriately?
Oh no, I knew they named him appropriately, and weirdly enough, I idolized that fucking character for a while. Cause goddamn.
I still do to an extent.
Bitch, I
The,
needed somebody in my life that was like that, and well, guess what? I wound up with mine. Say hello.
that's me? Holy shit. God damn
Pretty
it.
much, yeah.
What's funny is that style of teaching, that style of hard love, that was my dad inside and out.
Oh, yeah, no, from what I've heard, God, yeah. Dude,
That
I
was
still say I want to meet your dad at some point.
he's a nice guy. I guarantee he would have a conversation with you. He probably wouldn't like you. Let's be
Probably
honest.
not.
But he'd have a conversation with you, no problem. If I introduced you as my friend and you didn't just immediately start showing up at our house unannounced, clearly on some illicit substance, he'd really have no issue with you.
Yeah, no, in my case, it would probably be him and I would sit, have a chat, and then it would probably be one of those moments of, he's weird, shortly after I leave.
Most likely.
And I
It,
mean, to be honest, I am.
it well, the thing is, my father is very similar to me in that holding a conversation with him is harder than you'd think.
A little bit.
He will continue a conversation, but if you're not putting forth effort, he will just drop it and let it go.
Well, yeah.
He is not the greatest conversationalist on earth.
Eh, I mean, that's a thing. And then again, some of the conversations we've had while playing various games have also been absolutely weird.
Oh, I was greatly impressed by his reaction because uh, for those of you who want to get a time frame of when this was recorded, this past weekend was Easter,
Yep.
and I went with him and my mother and my brother down to my sister's house with her husband and her two kids. And I started making wisecracks about Christian holidays, as I am wont to do. In my family chat, every Christmas, I immediately send out the Happy rebirth of the eternal sun god, may Mithra smile upon you. Christian holidays are hilarious to me.
Little bit. Well, most of them are stolen holidays.
They straight up are. The Easter is entirely pagan and druidic, as is Christmas.
Yep.
It Christmas was originally based on the solstice. Why they decided to change it to an arbitrary day, who knows? But
Well,
okay
yeah,
then.
no. It was based on the solstice, and even the concept of gift giving was, uh, it was based around a pagan tradition of Hell, if you like these people and you have the shit to spare, give them a blanket, some dried food, something to show them that you like them enough to want them to survive the winter.
It was often a ceremonial, we are both alive at this point. It was kind of a farewell, if you will, because it was, we may not survive the next 3 months.
Yeah.
We have made it through the darkest day of the year. Here are these small tokens that are our wishes that you will make it through the remainder of this. We made it through the worst. We can make it through the rest.
Yeah.
And I started cracking jokes about Easter. And my dad started throwing in the punchlines before I could. And it flabbergasted me. I'm sitting there. He's been listening all this time. No, the old man finally found out that you can literally wander down a rabbit hole on it used to be Wikipedia, now it's Quora. He's been wandering down rabbit holes, and I'm sitting there,
Oh no. Oh. Isn't it lovely to wander down a rabbit hole on Korra?
now I have the memes flashing through my mind. Thank you very much. Damn you, Zootopia, with your ill-framed character reactions and the fact that one of the main characters is a rabbit.
Wait.
How deep does the rabbit hole go?
God damn it. Uh,
We are if this one gets demonetized, but the last one that went out didn't, I will be impressed.
well, that's the thing. The last one that went out didn't. It didn't. It
Or no, it didn't get age restricted.
It didn't get age restricted. It got demonetized. But here's the thing. This is the 4th episode, so he's actually talking about the 2nd episode, not the 3rd.
I said the last one that came out and gave them Easter. It obviously didn't come out the Friday before Easter.
I know, but still, not everybody is going to be paying that much attention. Do realize this is a podcast. This is going to be the thing that some people watch while they're breaking fucking meteors, or rather, listen to.
In which case, I hope that your mining prospects are going well. Remember, always keep mines and point defense on standby for your long haul back home. And remember, the bubble is your friend. The bubble will protect you.
Oh god, no. Dude, screw the bubble. Get yourself a fucking Type 10 Defender. Get yourself 4 of the Type 3 hard points as pulse lasers. Have point defense on standby. And if anybody fucks with you and tries to take your haul, blow them the fuck apart. It's at this point that most people are probably going to be going, what the fuck are they talking about? And it's the few people that actually understand what we're talking about that are probably listening to us while they're mining or patrolling. As for the bubble being your friend, only for selling.
Oh. The bubble's your friend when you want to make money bounty hunting.
God, yeah, no. Actually, weirdly enough, if you can get all the way out there, you can actually get more money bounty hunting in Colonia than anywhere else. By the way, for those who are trying to follow what we're saying, we're talking about a video game called Elite Dangerous. Oh. Realistically, though, in that game, mining it's best done outside the bubble because you can find pristine rings.
Yes. Mining, best done outside the bubble. Trading, best done in the bubble. Somewhat.
Bounty hunting.
Bounty hunting.
Best if you're new, bubble. Best if you're an old hand at it and are willing to risk dying 25,000 light years away from home, Colonia. Have you ever gone out that far, by the way?
No, I have never played the game enough to actually, decide how best to play the game. I play the game because, haha, I starship pilot now. I shoot things. Whee! Boom! Oh, I blew up.
By the way, this ties in really fun to some weird furry pastimes, and the idea of the gamers versus furries bullshit that happened a couple years back on TikTok and spilled
What's
over
really
to everything
amusing
else.
is people are still trying to make it a thing, and furries now have the ultimate, you know, ace up their sleeve of Sonic Fox.
I
Off you
mean,
go now.
literally fucking listed as the greatest and most skilled gamer of what was it, 2019?
2019 or 2018?
One of the two. Literally was branded as the world's best gamer for a year.
Which was funny because it was in one specific category of gaming that they
Fighters.
determined the best gamer.
Fighters.
And, well,
But
let's just say I don't entirely believe it, but at the same time, I am thankful he exists. Or didn't didn't they come out as trans or non-binary or some such?
I don't know. I stopped following Sonic Fox the moment where, in front of the entire world, he essentially decided to make his entire personality about the fact that he's gay. Or very specifically, the fact that he's a gay furry.
Yeah,
Not his
that's
greatest moment. He's an interesting dude, though. I have run into him a couple times. Not long enough to really talk to him because it's usually at the usually on the party floor, and he's usually either he's hammered or I am.
one of the two.
But yeah, if you ever want to get a snicker out of him, if you pass him at a convention, say something like, "A new challenger has appeared." I don't know why. Every single time I've passed him and done that, he stops and chuckles.
Well, for it's not quite that. You were slightly inebriated when that happened the last time I saw it.
Well, yeah.
It is he stops, identifies where the source came from to make sure he's not about to be tackled, and then laughs.
Yep.
Because there was a definite panic about how his head whipped around
Oh
trying
god,
to
yeah.
determine where you were, and then, oh yeah, haha.
It was funny.
Well, I'd like to point out we may be misgendering entirely because I swear there was something going on about
Well, I mean, maybe,
coming
and
out
if we
as
are, dude, if you're actually listening to this, which I highly doubt,
yeah.
sorry.
That if any of you actually listening decide to drop this and tag Sonic Fox to see if he she they have something to say. Look, first off, from California, dude is entirely a gender. It is all things are dude.
Yep.
Look, dude, no disrespect. We just don't follow you.
Eh. Well,
Sorry.
that's another thing, and that's a gripe that's been going around in the furry community is, dude, people get bent out of shape because dude, apparently to them, is not a gender-neutral thing. I'm sorry. I'm from California. I grew up in California. I grew up with surfers and beach bums. Dude is a gender-neutral.
Dude is much, in all honesty, I'm surprised dude isn't like straight up derogatory because, as I said, all things are dude.
A little bit.
Now, unless I am calling you the dude, in which case you have a magnificent beard, you are drinking a white Russian, and you are wearing a robe.
Oh, my beard's not quite that good, and I don't look that good in a robe.
I never refer to you as the dude either.
I'm aware. I'm fairly certain I know who you're talking about.
If you don't, you are far more sheltered than I ever thought you were.
Oh, either way, though.
I worked with a guy who looked just like him. It was the strangest thing, and I was amazed his call sign was not the dude.
Oh, man. God damn it, why is my brain going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
That is not correct.
No, I know. I'm sorry. And this is gonna trigger so many people saying this, but my brain, for some odd reason, because of the Sonic Fox issue of we may be misgendering them, now all I can hear is Frankenfurter singing, "It's a sweet transvestite."
From transsexual Transylvania.
Yep. Oh, I loved that fucking play.
Unfortunately, I never got a chance to see it before it was hyped up beyond all recognition by the people surrounding me.
You know what? One of these days we have to find a place where they're still doing a live performance of it and put your ass up there as the virgin sacrifice.
Oh, I have a friend who regularly does they still do it down here. I'm in
Yeah.
Southern California, by the way. Uh,
Oh, they do it all over the
I have a
California,
friend
all over California.
who still does it, and it's a like every 3 months or so they'll put on a show,
Yeah.
and I always kind of wanted to go to one of them, but at the same time I never had a group of friends to go with and felt like, all right, that's not my scene to show up to alone.
I mean, fuck. If you ever want to drag me along, I would love to see your ass become a virgin sacrifice. For those of you who don't know, by the way, virgin sacrifice is a tradition at the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Pretty much at any live performance that is worth a damn, where they have somebody who is submitted, and if it's their first, it has to be their first time going to one live. And if somebody shows up that is their first time going, they will typically pull that person up on stage and talk to them for a couple minutes before the show. I will never forget my first time because I wound up a virgin sacrifice and I got given a microphone and was told, you know, for all the people out there, all we want you to do, and this is just to see if you can handle being on stage for this sort of shit, is we want you to say your father's name right as I opened my mouth. By the way, it was Frankenfurter that was saying this. Went, no, let's make this a little bit more interesting. We want you to moan your father's name for us. It gets weird. And I don't think I've ever seen any virgin sacrifice that is the exact same thing.
Well,
They try to
it
embarrass
doesn't
the shit
have
out
to
of
be.
you.
The entire thing about it is it's just got to be something fundamentally weird.
Oh god, yeah. It's something along the same vein as the Rocky Horror Picture Show is, and they just go above and beyond to try to make the person that is there for the first time one get into the mindset of this is fucking weird and it's going to be weird. There's no way around it. It's weird. Live with it. Or well, at the same time trying to embarrass the shit out of them. I, on the other hand, was the kind of weird already that I decided to moan my father's name into the microphone. And I added some flair.
That concerns me.
They were trying to make me blush. They got me blushing, but I'm fairly certain Frankenfurter was blushing there a bit too.
Oh, it's see that is an interesting social construct that seems to be an issue overall. Is everybody out there knows that if they ever had a kid, there is at least 3 names, probably more like 5 names. Everyone could come up with 5 names. They would never name their kid because they knew a motherfucker with that name.
Oh, wait. What are those names?
Oh no, it's different for each person. I'm saying everybody has a list of names that they will never name their child because they knew a motherfucker. Same way as they will never date someone who has the same name as their father. Because that's just weird.
Oh god, yeah. Oh. Come to think of it, I've never dated somebody with the same name as my father.
Well, doesn't your
Yeah, no.
father have a interesting
He
name?
has a common as shit name. For the
Okay,
sake
so
of
your brother is a junior.
yeah, my brother's a
All
junior.
right.
And have fun figuring out which brother that is because I have about 9 of them. That, by the way, wasn't to you. That was to anybody who was listening for the sake of, being a dick and trying to gather info.
No, it's. I'm aware. I'm sorry. You can cut that part out and just have it come back with me saying you can cut that part out.
Nah, it's fine.
It's strangely I know your father's name,
Yeah.
and I've only ever heard you refer to him, and I've met your mother, and she never referred to him by name.
Yeah, no. There's a specific name we tend to call him. Can anyone guess? Other than asshole. I know you could, but still.
Well, I could because I've spoken to you for 4 years, and I have a strange brain that collects data.
Closer to 5 now, I think.
No, we're just past 4. Met in 17.
Huh.
17 in January.
I thought it was 16.
God. All right. Well, fortunately, I happen to have YouTube up. Let me just go ahead and find the
What?
first video I ever appeared in, shall I?
Oh, God, yeah. Give me just a second. I can actually look it up a hell of a lot faster.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet you could because you know exactly what video I'm going to look for.
Yeah, the fursuit parade.
On top of which, I'm willing to bet they give you a better search function than they give me.
It was 2017. You're right.
Yeah, I thought so. It's 4 years just past. Oh, that's an interesting one to stop on, but okay. Scrolling through all your videos and saw
Yeah,
one of
no.
one of Frost's videos.
Frost is an adorable little fluff.
He can be. Sometimes he can also be obnoxious, and sometimes I just yell at him for no apparent reason during a video.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Apparently, he is. People have noticed that he is the ultimate mix between cute, creepy, and obnoxious. And I kind of agree. Something
You
about
forgot
slitted
one there.
eyes. What?
You forgot one there.
What?
Oblivious.
Oh God, yeah.
I have stood in front of him waving my arms, and he did not see me.
Well, yeah, but that's also because he's partially blind. You do realize that that's why his eyes are colored like that. He can't
I'm
see very
aware.
well.
I'm
Anyways,
aware of all of these things.
eh. Either way, folks, we're actually at our time limit, though I'm wondering what number of minutes we're actually at due to all the dead air. So,
There wasn't much this episode.
God, there were actually areas where it was like a full minute of dead.
Oh no. I believe there were 3 of those where there was
Yeah,
a full minute of dead air.
yeah,
What's our timer at there, friend?
1 hour. Almost perfectly 1 hour.
Yeah, I'm
Let's see what
considering
gets
the
knocked
last
down
two
to.
were right around 55 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we did fine.
Anyways, folks, I completely forgot how we do the outro for this one.
We do an outro? Generally, we start rambling about things we like and then finally get, oh, right, we need to end this. We're like at an hour 20. Um, okay, we're leaving now. This has been Kit, and that's Rick. And then I say something that makes everyone go, what the fuck?
Oh right. Yeah, no, either way, we're gonna hop off now. So, until next time, folks, this has been Kit and Rick, and bye bye.
Doodles for now.